All right, so multi-chain is a smarter blockchain than Bitcoin. And the main thing that makes it smart is the atomic transaction. So what you do is you get two Linux computers and you execute just a few commands to install multi-chain. And now you can create a blockchain. And the point of this is, if you use something like Bitcoin or Ethereum, there are these massive public blockchains that millions of people are sharing. And everything you do is public to the whole world. And that is, in fact, not what most people want. This is, if you actually want to use a blockchain for a small private purpose, like to manage a supply chain within a company and its partners, then you would want a blockchain that's only used by a small number of people and that is not exposed to the whole world. And that's what multi-chain is for. You can make a chain to satisfy one business need. So you create a chain, and then a secondary node can join, and they will then have a copy of the chain. And the purpose of this is that you don't want to trust anybody. So you have a central company, and they're going to have suppliers and partners, and they're going to have contracts, and maybe people are going to be late or submit defective products, and then you're going to want refunds and them to pay penalties, and you're going to want to have a record of what happened that everybody can agree on, and that nobody has to trust somebody else about. So your blockchain means everybody will have a synchronized list of everything that happened. That's what this is intended for. So the second person will join the node, and the things that this has that Bitcoin do not have is atomic transactions and permissions. You don't just give everybody the same permissions. You determine what they can do. The server that starts the chain determines what people are allowed to do. So they grant to this address the ability to connect to the blockchain, and then they can connect, and they can't connect until they've been given permission to connect. And then you can do these various things, which, by the way, are very much the same as what Bitcoin can do. You can send transactions back and forth and such. And so you can get information about the chain, and it will show you that it has 14 blocks. This is another advantage of multi-chain. Bitcoin mines a block every 10 minutes, and Ethereum mines a block every 15 seconds. So if you make an Ethereum server and you're not using it, it continues to mine a block every 15 seconds, and the blockchain just gets bigger and bigger. Multi-chain only mines when there is a real transaction to mine. So it doesn't grow if it's not in use, and it doesn't grow any bigger than it has to grow. So creating a couple of accounts and joining a couple of computers to the blockchain only took 14 blocks, and it will just sit here at 14 blocks until you do anything more, which is much more efficient. So then you can learn how to use the getinfo command and learn more information about the structure of the blockchain. And then you can put a GUI on it. Controlling it with those command line commands is pretty clumsy. After you put a GUI on it, you can connect with remote procedure call credentials, and then you'll see a graphical interface down here. There, that looks like this. It's a relatively simple website, but now you can control it from these websites. You choose the chain you want to connect to, and now you can do things like issue an asset and publish data and such on the chain from the GUI. And so here you do things like create an asset, get a second one, there, issue an asset with your name coin, 1,000 units of 0.01s. So there's 1,000 coins, and you can spend quantities of them down to 1/100th of a coin. And then you can send coins from one node to another. And in order to do that, you have to give them more permissions. Here's all the permissions: mine, administer, activate, connect, send, receive, issue, and create. And then you can make a second coin. You make your name gold coin. There's only 10 of them, and they have to be transmitted one at a time, so they are worth more. And this is something the multi-chain developers are very proud of, imitating what happens at stock markets. You can trade one gold coin for 10 normal coins. And in order to do that safely, you cannot send one and wait for the other person to send the payment, or they could just not send the payment. Instead, you make an offer. You create an offer which says, I will give you 1 gold coin if you give me 10 other coins. You create the offer. This is an atomic exchange transaction. This whole thing, where 1 coin goes one way and 10 goes the other way, is a single transaction. And that transaction either completely happens or completely fails. There's no situation in which the money goes one way and the payment doesn't go the other way. So you create an offer, and then the other person accepts the offer, and then the whole thing happens as one transaction. This is the same way stock market transactions are done in online exchanges. So nobody can be paying for something without getting it. And that's the other main thing that you can do on multi-chain that they like to do. So you might try setting that up. You will need 2 Linux machines, and you could, if you want to use my cloud machines, you could use one with a GUI and one without a GUI. There are 2 Linux machines per student, or if you have local virtual machines, you can use them. So you might try that.